right, welcome back in, everybody, on Believe in the Wolfpack. Today, going over the brackets. Finally making a men's bracket and a women's bracket. I have a million other ones that I printed out. I'm sharing the screen now, obviously, but don't worry, I will be filling out one of these, like 50, as you can see. Hopefully I didn't get too many paper cuts right there, but we got plenty of them. So we are good. Filling one out here. So once we're done, then you can take the screenshots and then be like, oh, wow, he looks like an idiot, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put it down in writing so we have the time and date for it as well, not cheating here. So let's just get right into it. Why not? Already kind of clicked Yukon. I don't really remember doing that, but that's who I was going to take anyway. Stetson. Not gonna lie to you. Well, I'm struggling to put these papers away. Give me 1 second. Not gonna lie to you. Don't know much about Stetson. I know Yukon is heavily favored. Not heavily, but the way people talk about Yukon right now, Jay Billis and you know all them, the experts. It makes it seem like Yukon already won the championship weeks ago, which is crazy to me. It's so hard to repeat, but I got them beating Stetson. I don't think it's going to be a 16-1 scenario there. I don't think any of the 16 seeds are going to win, but that's a very easy opinion to have. And if I'm wrong, that's probably best case scenario because that would be electric if I was. All right. Next game, FAU Northwestern. Northwestern has been playing better as of late. But FAU, they've been good in the tournament before. I'm going Northwestern, just because I feel like they've been playing better as of late, and why not? The 5-12 matchups. I never know if I don't pick enough 12s in the 5-12 matchups, or if I pick too many. But all I remember last year is that San Diego State. I just remember San Diego State missing every single shot. And they were, solid this year and whatnot. But I'm going UAB just as 12-5 upset. And again, San Diego State, Mountain West, you got in. That's good. Maybe lower seeded, but I'm going UAB 12-5. Auburn and Yale, I'm going Auburn. I thought that this was going to be Princeton after Princeton had their run, I think, last year. I thought that it was going to be them instead of Yale, but Yale pulled out the Ivy League championship on a buzzer beater. I'm pretty sure it was. BYU and Duquesne. Duquesne is their first time in the tournament since 1977, I believe it is. So good for them. I do have them losing, though. And don't worry, I'm not going to go full chalk. I'm not going to go straight chalk, which is actually, let me get to that. Little option right here. Autofill a chalk bracket. Oh, just autofill it here and get all the favorites to advance. Why is that a setting? Who would do that? Who's going to be like, oh, yeah, might as well. There we go. What? That is so stupid. That is a terrible feature. Oh, my God. I don't know why that disgusted me. Absolutely disgusted me. Illinois and Morehead State. I actually think this could be an upset game. With Illinois coming off of the Big Ten championship, and they looked really good in the Big Ten championship, but coming off the Big Ten championship, everyone's kind of maybe overrating them. They're a great team, don't get me wrong, but maybe thinking they're a little better than what they actually are just because they won the Big Ten. So I could see Morehead State kind of sneaking one there, but I feel like I got to go with Illinois here. So I'm going with them. Drake, I'm going Drake here. Don't know much about Washington State. All I know is that Washington State doesn't feel like a basketball school. I know Washington is pretty good for Washington, the state, not Washington State, is pretty good for basketball. But I'm gonna go with Drake here. I also, Bulldogs. Why not? Iowa State. I like Iowa State here against South Dakota State. I mean, that's feels obvious. So a pretty basic East region, but like UConn, Auburn, Illinois, and Iowa State, that's just an incredible top four to where if those four don't advance to the Sweet 16, well, I could see one of them losing before the Sweet 16. But if they don't make it, if one of them gets upset, I would be shocked. I can see a few 3 and 4 seeds getting upset and whatnot, yeah, but Auburn, UConn, Illinois, and Iowa State, I would be blown away. Scrolling down here, North Carolina and Wagner. Wagner pulled out that game last night. Howard couldn't get the win. And Colorado State, they answered my prayers. And we all just got one last. It was actually a perfect ending for Virginia, scoring 14 points in the first half. And right then, you just knew they weren't gonna win the game. They were not winning that game. They should not have been there. They looked like they should not have been there. They looked like they just didn't belong in the tournament. Just thank God they lost. Thank God they lost. Don't have to put up with that just awful team, that awful offense for the rest of the year. Oh, it makes me so happy. Mississippi State and Michigan State. I kind of said, Michigan State with Izzo, I think earlier in the week, and this is the first game of the day. This is the first game of the day, and honestly, I kind of like how they do the 8-9. So, yeah, it's 8-9 game. It's so hard to pick. Usually it's about 50-50 right down the middle. Who picks 8, who picks 9. If anything, I would think people lean more Michigan State here just because of history reasons. But Mississippi State's been playing good basketball too. And I do like how if I get this game wrong, it's the very first game of the day. So then I don't really need to worry about my bracket the rest of the way. Am I still going to, try to have the best score and, you know, try to have the best one in the pools that I'm in? Yeah, duh. But I don't have to. I don't have to sweat out games later in the day if I have a really good bracket going on day one. Like if I just get the first loss out of the way quick, then it's like, all right, whatever. Like this isn't going to be perfect. So what's the point? With all that being said, this is kind of a coin flip game for me. I might just go Michigan State just because, like I said, Izzo and March and whatnot. They are ranked a little bit high though. 9 seed does feel like because I picked them, and they were my initial thought when the bracket came out. Even if they should probably be lower than a 9 seed, I'm gonna still stick with it. Grand Canyon and St. Mary's. See, this is where I get confused with myself if I pick too many 12 seeds or not enough, because just I'm going back to back 12 seeds here. But going Grand Canyon. St. Mary's, yeah, they're good team, same conference as Gonzaga, but Gonzaga is just always going to be just one up on St. Mary's, and it's a 12-5 matchup. I'm kind of obligated to pick the 12, I feel like. Alabama and Charleston, this could be an upset game here, I think. Because Alabama's good to get out and they're fast, yeah. But I don't know, it's just something about Charleston. I don't know much about them, let me tell you, but just something about Charleston that's going to make me pick Charleston here. I gotta go. I gotta go with it. And now I may be going a little off the rocker here because I just went 12, 13, and 11 are all going to win. I'm going New Mexico over Clemson. Clemson, yeah, they're solid, but had a few good wins earlier in the year, but just as of late, and even throughout the year, they really haven't impressed me too much. They almost beat Duke that one game, but I don't know. I mean, New Mexico, they did win their conference tournament, and without doing that, I don't know if they would have made the NCAA tournament. But that's kind of the other side of my opinion with Illinois, where yeah, they won the Big Ten, so people are going to be overrating them a bit. Okay, New Mexico just won their conference, just won the Mountain West that they really weren't supposed to win. Can they keep that hot hand? Can they keep that, elite play the last few games into the tournament? And I think that they will. Baylor, everything I've seen about Colgate is that they are just abysmal. So I'm going to go with Baylor here. Dayton, Nevada, I think this is going to be a really good game. It's a 7-10 matchup. 7-10 matchups are usually just great. But Nevada's played good ball this year too. Nah, I don't know if I can pick 10 just out of principle, just because I've picked 11, 12, and 13. So this is my strategy with the brackets. It's, I could know everything there is to know. I could have watched every single game of all these teams throughout the year. It's just something different about March. You got to try to, look at your bracket. And then I'm almost kind of going in a situation where, I've already guessed C for 3 questions in a row. Let me go B here. Can't do C again. But you got to kind of go off, the vibes of the game and what you think could happen down the line and whatnot. Like this next game, Long Beach State and Arizona, I'm still thinking about picking Long Beach State just because it's the best storyline coming to the tournament. Fire their head coach before the conference tournament. They end up winning their conference that they probably weren't supposed to do. And then And then you're playing Arizona. You're in the tournament, and the guy's still coaching. So actually, with all that being said, I'm going to pick Long Beach State just because if he gets to the Sweet 16, oh my God, that would be incredible. That'd be unbelievably funny. After all that, going back to Dayton and Nevada, like I said, just out of principle, I don't know if I can pick the 10, 11, 12. Did I pick? No, I didn't pick 14. Okay, that would have been bad too. Oh, yeah. Wait. Yeah, no, Colgate. So I'm going to go Dayton here. Again, just because I've already picked 10, 11, 12. All right, moving on to the South. I've always done my brackets where I go on the left side first, fill out the entire left side first round. I'll go round by round, obviously, but then I go left side, left side, right. Like I just go. I don't know how other people. I don't know if people just go straight across or do an entire region first. I feel like if you do an entire region first and put one team in the final four, that's weird to me. Anyway, Houston over Longwood, 1/16, self-explanatory. Nebraska looking for their first, like I said, first tournament win ever. So I feel like that will play somewhat of a factor in this, and they'll come out hot and just try to just stomp out Texas A&M. JMU and Wisconsin. Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship lost the Big Ten championship. Had just a brutal, not even end to the season, but like a midway point, third of the way through the season, they were just terrible. And JMU's been pretty good all year. They were great early in the year. I think they stomped out Michigan State for their first one of the year. And it's a 12-5. So whoever the next five is, I'm gonna have to go with the five because not all the 12s can win. But one of these is gonna be right. And if not, then damn. Going JMU. They're also a good 3-point shooting team, and I saw something that Wisconsin can't really guard the three well. So going to go with that. JMU is going to start knocking them down. Duke and Vermont. I feel like Duke always loses to some smaller school in the first round, like Lehigh. What was that, like 10 years ago? They lost to Lehigh. Was that also 4-13? Anyway, I'm going to go with Duke here just because they kind of can't lose. They're not going to fire John Shire if he loses this game, but it would be a conversation. It would absolutely be a conversation. NC State and Texas Tech, self-explanatory. I mean, don't need to get into that one. Duh. Of course, Pack are going to win. Get out of here. Kentucky, I think Kentucky has a legitimate chance to get to the Final Four here. Their defense stinks. Their defense is not good, but my God, that offense can score. Boise State and Colorado, that's still half and half because I'm recording this as I think, no, it hasn't even tipped off yet. So that should be happening soon. Regardless, I think Colorado wins that game and then beats Florida. So I'm just going to go with that plan and put Colorado playing Marquette, even though Marquette, I think, has been picked as one of the teams, one of the more popular upsets in the first round. Not sure if Tyler Kolek is playing. I thought he was supposed to, but whatever. Grambling just won in overtime. If Purdue loses to a 16 seed again, disband the team, disband the school, or send them down the D2, make them play Canada ball. They cannot be a Division I basketball team ever again if they lose to Grambling. Utah State and TCU. This is my Mountain West. I feel like Utah State should have been a spot or two higher just because the Mountain West got a little bit disrespected in the seeding. So I'm going to go Utah State here. Gonzaga as the only five that I'm going to pick out of the 5 and 12 games, the 4, 5, and 12 games. And this next one, Samford and Kansas. Kansas does not have McCullers, and they have been brutal the last month. They have just been terrible. So bad. So bad. And outside of the year that they won the championship, they just love to disappoint in March Madness. Going Samford. Going to Samford Bulldogs. Oregon, South Carolina. I feel like I've picked a lot of 11s. If I've picked only 11s and no 6s, ooh. Okay, now I picked BYU. I picked BYU. There is 6 because I kind of want to go Oregon here. I'm not going to lie. Nah, I got to go Oregon here. I think I'm going to go South Carolina. This is a coin flip for me. Oregon's not bad. They were just in the Pac-12 championship. That's the last year of the Pac-12. We're gonna go Pac-12. They've been playing well. They look decent. They're playing Creighton. I'm gonna go with Creighton over Akron. Creighton, I also think, has a legitimate chance as the 3 seed to make the Final Four out of the Midwest. I always forget which one's which. Texas and Colorado State. Colorado State looked. I don't know if it's just Virginia was so bad that Colorado State looked great, or Colorado State just genuinely looked great. But I think I'll go Texas here. I don't see Texas as a basketball school at all. How many tens have I picked? So this is where I kind of go back to where I'm in between. Okay, there's 110. There's all right. Now I'm fine with that. Actually, go 2 sevens with Dayton and Texas, and then Colorado/Boise State, and then Drake as the tens that I picked. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Tennessee and St. Peter's. I don't think St. Peter's is going to go on one of those crazy runs that they went on last time. Going to go Tennessee here and back to the top. So in the round of 32, Saturday and Sunday games, UConn, again, I'm kind of saying how UConn, I don't think they're going to be champions and whatnot. I don't think they're going to win. I'll spoil that for you right now. I do not have UConn winning. But I do have them advancing to the Sweet 16, and they will play Auburn. I think this has a chance to be one of the best games of the tournament, if not the best. I think that's going to be an incredible game. I think BYU takes down Illinois here for no other reason than it shouldn't happen, but it will. I really want to pick Drake here. I really want to pick Drake, but I'm just thinking about Iowa State just clobbering Houston in the Big 12. Whoa, completely drew a blank. I was thinking Pac-12. So I'm already missing. I'm already missing the Pac-12. But just clobbered Houston in the championship game. So it's tough to get. It's tough to go against Iowa State right now. Down here, I'm gonna go North Carolina. Just because Michigan State, I have them. I think they barely beat Mississippi State. I think this first game is going to be great and really close down to the wire and whatnot. But then I think North Carolina just kind of comes right in. Most likely have rested their starters after this game for at least 10 minutes. Everyone's fresh and they just kind of pound Michigan State. Grand Canyon and Charleston. Damn. Like, let me just go off here. I feel like I got to go Grand Canyon. Yeah, I feel like I got to go Grand Canyon. Beating St. Mary's. That'll probably be a more convincing win over St. Mary's, I think, than Charleston over Alabama. I mean, that would be more of an upset Charleston over Alabama, duh. But I don't know something about Grand Canyon. They're kind of speaking to me right now. Could I be way off? Absolutely. Will I be way off? Probably. Baylor and New Mexico. I don't think Baylor's that great. I'm going to be honest with you. But I still think they can squeak one out over New Mexico. Now, I think this is where I don't think Long Beach State, I think they'll just get the win over Arizona and then crumble to Dayton. And then it's like, how can you beat Arizona, but then you can't bounce back and beat Dayton? And then that will confuse everybody. So you got North Carolina, Grand Canyon, Baylor, Dayton, BYU, Iowa State, UConn, Auburn, all in my Sweet 16 on the left side of the bracket. Over here, going to go Houston. Nebraska, yeah, great. You got your win and whatnot. And then you go against Houston, who I think is probably the best team in the country. And then I just don't think that's going to be a great game. I got JMU beating Duke. This kind of ties into what I said about Duke in the first round, where I feel like they always lose some dumb game in the first round or to like a smaller school. I think they not barely sneak past Vermont, but I think Vermont gives them enough of a scare to where that, gets JMU excited and kind of even more. I mean, they're going to have confidence, but maybe some false confidence, thinking that Duke just stinks, and then they come in and just expose them for being bad. NC State and Kentucky. Listen. Is this going to be biased? Yes. Do I believe this? Yes. Am I nervous about this? Yes. Kentucky's very good. They are very good. Can we keep up with their scoring? I have no idea. But does it just take one, awkward night of sleep, one bad shoot around, one kind of, you mess up your pregame routine for that offense to go cold? Maybe Rob Dillingham misses his first shot of the game. Maybe DJ Wagner misses an easy layup. Maybe Justin Edwards can't hit the three ball. It just takes something. It just takes one little thing to throw off that offense, and they have zero defense. And this is going to be a DJ Burns and DJ Horn game again. So back on to the Sweet 16. We're riding. This is America's sweetheart team right here. This is America's sweetheart team right here. Get them to the Sweet 16. It'll be fun. Boise State and Colorado. This is where I may start to go off the rocker here, because I think again, along with Colorado, they have just great guys to NBA draft picks this year. I think they beat Boise State. Now, if they lose to Boise State, this is gonna be a problem right here. But I think Marquette drops one to whoever the 10 seed is, most likely Colorado. Do I still have confidence in Boise State to beat Marquette? Yes. As much as Colorado? No. But I can't have a straight chalk even Sweet 16. That'd be so lazy. I might as well just click this stupid button of autofill a chalk bracket. Losers. God, that's terrible. Purdue and Utah State. Again, Purdue, they have to play well in the tournament. I think they realize that. They pretty much have the same team from last year. They know they have to play well, and they cannot choke. Gonzaga and Samford, the battle of the Bulldogs. See, this is where Samford could capture the hearts of the country, or Gonzaga could make us realize, oh yeah, Gonzaga's still a really good basketball team, even if they had somewhat of a down year. And I think the latter will happen. I think Gonzaga kicks Samford out. I think this is a close game though. And I wouldn't be surprised if Samford gets to the Sweet 16. I would not be surprised at all if Samford is one of the teams that makes a run and gets to the Elite Eight. Oregon and Creighton. I really like the Oregon team, even though I barely picked them over South Carolina, but I really like the South Carolina team too. I think this is going to be an awesome game. I'm glad that's on Thursday, so I don't have to wait an extra day for it as well. But I like Creighton. I really like Creighton. I think they're a solid team. Okay, just making sure I got my right picks in. I mean, yes, they lost in the Big East, but I just think about them just crushing UConn when they were at Creighton, and I'm like, that's a good team. That is a good team. Tennessee, I'm going Tennessee. Tennessee, I mean, if Dalton connects, they're going to go as far as Dalton Connect can take them. Yeah, they have Zy Jordan James and Ziegler and a Vescoviv and whatnot, but Dalton Connect is their guy. He's got to score 30 some points a game for them, and I think that he can step up, and I think he can do it. Back to the East, got UConn and Auburn. Like I said, could be, and I think will be the best game of. Do I think it's going to be? It could be, very well could be the best game of the tournament, Final Four championships, whatever. And I think Auburn pulls it out. Auburn's a really good team. They steamrolled through the SEC in the SEC tournament. And just, UConn is getting so much love right now. I don't think I've seen a bracket that has a different team in the Final Four out of the East than UConn. It's just all UConn. It's ridiculous, and I'm kind of tired of it. And then Iowa State, like I said, Iowa State's a really good team. I have a hard time thinking that they're going to lose a game that they shouldn't. So I'm going Iowa State there, setting up an Auburn and Iowa State. Elite Eight. Yeah, Elite Eight. I don't know why I thought we were in Sweet 16, so that's what we're doing right now. North Carolina, I think that's where the Grand Canyon run ends. North Carolina, they're still a good team, although they did lose to NC State in the ACC championship. Still a good team. Don't get me wrong. Still a great team, but I just don't think Grand Canyon will be able to keep up with them. Baylor and Dayton here. I think Dayton's big time run continues, and they will go up against North Carolina. I even said back in round one, I don't think Baylor's that great. I just think playing Colgate, and Colgate stinks, that should be a good win, and they should beat New Mexico or Clemson, honestly. But then once it kind of gets to Dayton, or even if Arizona gets it here, I don't see Baylor getting past the Sweet 16. And then back to the top over here, got to go Houston. Again, like I said, just one of the best teams in the country, if not the best. James Madison, great run, great team, but Houston is just unbelievably good. Listen. Did I have Colorado? Do I already have Colorado in my mind? Yes. Do I have them beating Marquette in my mind? Yes. But can they stop DJ Burns? I don't think they can. I don't think they're going to be able to stop America's sweetheart, and they're just going to keep this energy and keep that vibe and just take it to the Elite Eight. They call me crazy, fine, whatever. But if I'm right, that's going to be it's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. Purdue and Gonzaga. Same applies. Purdue needs a decent run here. They absolutely need to if they ever want to be taken seriously again. Creighton, Tennessee, this could be an awesome game in my mind. I hope that both these teams make it so we can see this, and then I think Tennessee will come out and win. So, again, Dalton connected. Down to the Elite Eight, Auburn and Iowa State. I mentioned Iowa State, just thinking about them, just they played so well. They were incredible against Houston. But I think Auburn's just a little bit better. So, Auburn to the Final Four out of the East region. And then for North Carolina and Dayton in the Elite Eight, can Dayton pull off the upset? Can we get a 7 seed in there, a non-1 or a 2? Or even 4, I guess, with Auburn? I'm thinking yes. And hear me out here. I have no real premise behind this. But my main point is that how often are we going to get a 1 and 2, just 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 1, like all the top seeds in the Final Four? Rarely ever at this point. So why not Dayton or NC State? But why not Dayton? You know what I mean? Speaking of NC State, I hate to do it. I really do. Was I biased on the Kentucky pick? Maybe a little bit, yeah, but I truly believe they can win that game. I truly believe they can beat Kentucky. And then, even if it is Marquette, I truly believe they can win whoever they play out of Florida, Boise State, Colorado, Marquette, Western Kentucky, whatever. I truly believe they can win that game. Do I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe they can beat Houston? No. Sadly, no. Houston is just, again, incredible. Just unbelievably good. Defensively, offensively, they really have it all. I think that's where the run ends. And honestly, if you're saying, why, you got to make them go to the Final Four. This team getting in the tournament is pretty much a win on the season after the way the regular season ended. Making it to the Elite Eight would be unbelievable, unimaginable. I would take an Elite Eight appearance. Hell, if you really ask me, I would take a win over Texas Tech. We're underdogs against Texas Tech, but I would take an Elite Eight appearance all day. All day. Come on. I mean, easily. And then Tennessee and Purdue. I mentioned how Purdue needs to go on a big run here. I think this is where they drop one. I think Tennessee's got the good centers. They got Josiah Jordan-James. They got Adu. They got even Vescovi can kind of play like a center role if he really needs to, but he's more kind of like a small forward, power forward. I think they can do a great job on Edey. And then if Purdue if they don't get Edey going, they're not going to be in the game. So if you can just get the big men to slow down Edey to a point, then you have a chance no matter what. Which brings us to the Final Four. Auburn and Dayton on one side, 4 and 7. Houston and Tennessee on the other, the 1 and the 2. For the left side, Auburn and Dayton. We've seen a lot of teams like Dayton, the lower seeds, kind of make their way, claw their way to the Final Four as 10 seeds, 9 seeds, 8 seeds, whatever. Once you get to the Final Four, though, it's kind of a different beast in the Final Four. And I think getting to the Final Four may cause, maybe not shell shock, but you get that imposter syndrome. So I think Dayton will lose and Auburn will go to the national championship. Just go to the national championship. Maybe not win, maybe win, but maybe not win. But I think Auburn will go to the national championship, and Charles Barkley on the broadcast will be elated, and he will be losing his mind. The only problem, though, is they're going to have to face Houston. And again, I think Tennessee is a great team. Dalton Connect is awesome, but that Houston defense is good. That Houston defense is really good. Really good. And I just think Houston, like I said back in kind of round 2, I kind of foreshadowed it a bit. I meant to call them one of the best teams in the country. I said I think they are the best team in the country, and that will hold true here. I think Houston wins. I think they've been almost kind of a bit under the radar of the best team in the country because everyone's talking about UConn still and Hurley is their coach, and they've been so good in the Big East and just powering through the Big East and all. And Purdue with Edey and Braden Smith, and I feel like Houston after that Iowa State loss, everyone's starting to write them off a bit, but they've been just elite all year long. How many points are going to be scored in the game? I don't know. 155. Sure. Is that low? Nah, that's yeah. Yeah, that's probably 155. Ah, we'll go. Yeah. Nah, I'll keep it 155. Yeah, 155 is fine. Keep it 155. But yeah, I got Houston winning. I got Houston taking down Auburn. Auburn's in the Final Four along with Dayton and Tennessee in the Final Four. Take your screenshots now. Okay. I'll fill out an entire bracket and post it I'll just come on screen right here or post it on one of the Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot, social medias. How do I feel about this bracket? Couldn't tell you. Every year I feel like I have a great bracket. Like, oh, this should happen, this should happen. And then it's just terrible. So I don't know. I do feel if I had to feel strongly about one thing here is that I truly believe Houston will be in the Final Four, and I think that they will be. I think they will win it because I think they're just the best team in the country. Dayton, no idea. I also feel strongly that just UConn will not win the championship. Repeating is so hard, and I just don't think they would even make the Final Four. That's what I got to say. So and then as for the NC State Kentucky game, if it wasn't NC State, I really do think Kentucky could be the team to take down Houston because I did say how, you just have a bad shoot around, then that offense goes quiet. If that offense is clicking, there's not a defense in the country that is able to stop Kentucky if they have it going on that night. So, but Houston, I got them as my champions. We'll find out if I'm correct in in a few weeks. Or maybe after this weekend, I'll be dead wrong and they'll already be eliminated, and I'll just look like an even bigger fool. That's my men's bracket. I'm going to step away for a moment and be right back on Believe in the Wolfpack. All right, welcome back in on Believe in the Wolfpack. Here, I got the women's bracket up now. Making sure I have that on the picture-in-picture thing. I already won through the first round, I guess. I don't really remember doing that, but I mean, I do remember my philosophy of, like, I don't think there's going to be as many upsets, if really any, just because, some of the teams that are the top teams in women's basketball, it's like they're just clearly better. Like Indiana and Fairfield, like, they should destroy Fairfield. Like NC State is a 3 seed and they're favored by 26 and a half points. Like, come on. I have Marquette upsetting Ole Miss, just for some of my upsets. Florida State over Alabama. Maryland over Iowa State. Who else? UConn, no. Syracuse, yeah. Virginia Tech, yeah. Baylor. Michigan over Kansas. But really, an 8-9 isn't that major of an upset in my mind. So, yeah. So, on to the round of 32. Honestly, South Carolina should just sleepwalk to even the Final Four. Notre Dame will most likely be their biggest competition. Maybe Indiana in the next round because I do have Indiana winning, but it's just tough to go against South Carolina. Listen, I have more confidence in South Carolina making the Final Four or the championship than any of the men's teams. Any of them. I just easily, so easily. Nebraska and Oregon State. I'll go Oregon State here, just because, I mean, again, most of these are going to be off kind of vibes too. Nebraska on the men's side, going for their first ever men's tournament win. So I got Oregon State here. And plus, Oregon State is kind of in the same boat as NC State, where they're being kind of disrespected. And I don't like that. They're a 3 seed. Give them some respect. Notre Dame is going to take down Marquette. It seems easy to me. I actually think Florida State may upset Texas here, and I'm going to pick it. Florida State played some good ball during the year. I think if they can find that again, They're a dangerous team. A dangerous team. Gonna go Utah over Gonzaga. I've heard more about Utah this year and seen more of Utah than Gonzaga. That's as simple as that. Duh. NC State over Tennessee is self-explanatory. Stanford, also self-explanatory. They are unbelievable. They are very good. Ohio State, also very good. UConn, probably better. Well, I guess now that I said that, there we go. UConn as my first team in the Elite Eight. Virginia Tech, very good too. I mean, USC, they should easily beat Michigan, yeah, but Virginia Tech's a good team. And if they can just get into Juju Watkins' head and just make her uncomfortable, really, I think they pull this one out. Well, yeah, I guess I can just do that now then too. So yeah, Virginia Tech and UConn in the Elite Eight down there. As for the Regional 2, Iowa, Caitlin Clark, self-explanatory. Colorado, I got Colorado beating Kansas State. Colorado was good earlier. I think they were, yeah, probably earlier in the year ish, right around then. LSU and Louisville, I got LSU. I think this is also kind of a crash course for Iowa and LSU to meet up for a chance in the Final Four, which would be one of the most watched women's basketball games ever, if not the most watched. Um, But then, so yeah, and then I have UCLA beating Creighton because UCLA is also just unbelievable. They're very good, just a very good team again. That it's hard to see some of these teams losing. Like South Carolina, no chance they lose to Indiana in my mind. I do think Notre Dame beats South Carolina, so I kind of have a chalk Elite Eight here in this region. Whatever, shut up. Florida State and Utah. I think if Florida State can beat Texas, they can kind of ride that wave and beat Utah too. No, NC State and Stanford. Stanford, such a good team, such a great coach, just overall so great. But I gotta roll with them. Come on, they're being disrespected. That's got to play into it a little bit. They have to see some of these articles and say, "All right, why is nobody picking us? No one's talking about us at all. This is ridiculous." They deserve some respect. Give them some respect right now. Come on. But I already have Virginia Tech and UConn in the Elite Eight. There. Um, Iowa, Colorado, Caitlin Clark. That's all I need to say. And like I said, I think it's all setting up for LSU to take on Caitlin Clark for a chance at the Final Four. On this side, South Carolina, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, very good team, of course, but it's South Carolina. I mean, they have to be in the Final Four, right? They just have to be in the Final Four. It's South Carolina. Come on. Self-explanatory as well. I mean, if we can get past Stanford, we should be able to get past Florida State. I mean, yeah, conference in conference game technically. Seen them twice this year. It'll be a tough game. It'll absolutely be a tough game, but they should be able to come out with it. And again, give them some respect. Give them some respect. UConn. I'm kind of on the UConn train where I think they can be in the Final Four. Paige Beckers is unbelievable. And like I said, they have Gino, one of the greatest coaches ever. He's you got Gino, you got a chance. Like, come on. Iowa and LSU. Angel Reese, Haley Van Lint. Caitlin Clark's on the other side. I am a full Caitlin Clark supporter. I will. I'm 100% like she is she is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Going to be the first pick in the draft, no doubt. I mean, easily should be in the first pick of the draft. I think the Indiana Fever already sold out season tickets for next year because they have the first pick in the WNBA draft. So they know damn well who they're taking. And then my Final Four. Got South Carolina, NC State, Iowa, and UConn. I said it in the previous episode. I think this entire kind of tournament is setting up for a South Carolina and Iowa championship. And I think that's exactly what it's going to be. it hurts. It hurts just because even more because it hurts even more because they're getting disrespected like that. But I don't know how I can pick against South Carolina. I really don't know how I can. The Wolfpack, they're great. The defense is so good, but South Carolina just does everything so well. And then Iowa on the other side. I mean, Paige, this may be actually more of a watch game. I don't know. It's Caitlin Clark. She's just going to draw a crowd every single time. But watching Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark go back to back and just back and forth is going to be unbelievable. That's going to be just an incredible game to watch if we get it. If it happens, I hope it does. And then South Carolina and Iowa. I mean, these are clearly, in my mind, just the two best teams. You have Caitlin Clark, by far the best player in college basketball right now, including men's basketball. She's just the best, most polarizing player easily. Just so good. Unbelievably. It just a generational talent. Truly a generational talent. Then you have South Carolina that may be their best team. I mean, they're undefeated as of right now, so it has to be one of their best teams ever, especially under Dawn Staley. Duh. But I'm going. I love Dawn Staley, but come on, I'm riding with Caitlin Clark if it comes down to this. She's insane. That pull up three, transition three as soon as she steps across half court. If it happens in the national championship, I will lose my mind. It would be unbelievable, and just to kind of go right off into the WNBA draft after winning a national championship, and then she can shut everybody up who says, "Oh, she's not the greatest. She hasn't won a championship. Maya Moore's got like three. She's not better. Kelsey Plum got blah, blah, blah." She's the greatest women's college basketball player I've ever seen, easily, and I think she is the greatest. I think this is her championship, and then she goes off into the WNBA, bringing a championship to Iowa. Total points, let's just go. What did I do for the men's game? 155, I think. Sure, 155. Why not? I don't care for the points. I just care about who wins. But I do have NC State going to the Final Four. I think being disrespected, and it's a good team. It's such a good defense. They got the pieces. They got the coaching. They got the chemistry, the team chemistry. Just I just can't have them disappoint. I cannot have them disappoint. Like Final Four is what I'm expecting. Honestly, Elite Eight would be tolerable in my mind. If we get to the Sweet 16 and losing the Sweet 16, even if it would be to Stanford, which obviously tough team, I'd be a little disappointed just because like I have such high hopes. I have such high hopes for the Wolfpack. But those are my brackets. I got Houston. Now, what's the stat of a team like west of the Mississippi or something has never won the national championship or hasn't won it? Well, because no, UCLA like hasn't won it in the last like 30 years or something. Whatever. Shut up. It's March. Anything can happen. That's what I'm going with. But I got Houston winning the men's bracket or winning the men's championship, and Iowa winning the women's national championship. You can, take a screenshot now so I can be wrong after. Maybe I'll be wrong. I mean, if this one, I feel better about this one than the men's one, honestly, just because Caitlin Clark in South Carolina. I don't see how either of those teams get bounced early. But it's it's pretty much Christmas Eve right now. We got the tournament. For me, you're going to be listening to this the morning before the first games, and I'm going to be just, can't wait. Just waiting and just basking in the glory of March Madness. It's almost here. We're right there. We're pretty much there. It's the best weekend of the year. Cherish it. Enjoy it. Just appreciate it and watch all the basketball that you can. Don't get off the couch. Order the delivery. Yes, get 20 wings instead of 10. Eat the 10 the next day. Get a pizza. Why not? Get some beers. Just chill out. Watch some basketball. If you got to work tomorrow like me, maybe, tell your boss you got to take a half day. Maybe don't do that. Whatever. Just enjoy the basketball. Just enjoy it. It's incredible. I can't wait. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Believe in the Wolfpack. Enjoy March Madness. Wolfpack tomorrow night, 9:40 against Texas Tech. They got to do it. Continue being America's sweetheart team. Let's keep on pushing. Let's keep on pushing. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.